July felt like an eternity, but we have more games to talk about than just the ones we reviewed. Let's not waste any time. No, wait, hang on, wrong one. That's better. If you didn't already know, the servers for the old Call of Duty games got fixed a few weeks ago, and the internet has had a collective nostalgia trip. Obviously, my first stop was my first COD game, and it is still as fun as ever. Nothing beats the powder keg of stopping power ACRs, UMP-45s, intervention quickscopes, Model 1887s, one-man army danger close noob tubes, Harrier, chopper gunners, and the nuke. Modern Warfare 2 runs on the mantra of if everything is overpowered, nothing is, and it is pure chaotic fun, even if I'm getting absolutely destroyed by people who don't seem to have stopped playing this game for the past 15 years. Now, if I could just go back to 2010 and not having a care in the world, then this would all be perfect. 2012 is close enough, I guess. Now, it was fun to revisit the multiplayer here, but let's be real, if I'm going back to old Treyarch games, I'm going back for one thing. Mob of the Dead, my beloved, you're as beautiful as the day I lost you. You know, this map is over 10 years old now? Yeah, I feel old too, but it's still a gem, and to this day remains, in my opinion, trademarked. The greatest zombies map of all time. I think as the weeks go by, I'm going to continue to set aside some time to revisit these older games, especially now that they have more lively communities. And I am remembering now that I did want to do round 100 in the Black Ops 3 maps. Maybe I can give a couple of the Black Ops 2 ones a go. We'll see though. Time is tight, but I'm pretty happy if I can go back to the good old days for a while. Wave 5 came out, finally. And it's the best wave. Wiggler, Kamek and PT finally being here is awesome, and this track selection is bangers all the way down. Screw it, we're going to talk about each track, least good to best, because they're all good. Please, just grant me this is like the only time I get to talk about Mario Kart. Thanks. Sunset Wilds is the worst track of the bunch, and still a great time. Any track with Dancing Shy Guys is a winner in my book, and that music just soothes my soul. But I know we're all meant to be really mad about the sun not setting, so it's the worst track in Wave 5. LA Laps is a great city track, although I can't seem to find the bit where you get stuck in gridlocked freeway traffic for 20 years. I really enjoy the beach and oil field sections, but the rest of the track is a little bit too empty. It just feels like a lot of playing streets. Vancouver Velocity's theme goes a little too hard, and the track itself is really nice, although I definitely would have swapped the first and second laps, because as it stands, the second and third laps feel way too similar. This is also our first instance of anti-gravity in a city track, and I'm hoping that this makes a return in whatever cities Wave 6 brings us. I'm really loving that we're getting a Tour Nitro in every wave, and Squeaky Clean Sprint is no exception. In fact, I think I prefer it over Yoshi's Island. The setting is super unique, I love all of the alternate paths you can take, and there is a giant rubber ducky with a Mario hat. What's not to love? Athens Dash is the best city track, period, and it manages this by having super unique theming. Racing at odd angles around ruins and the surprising level of verticality make this an absolute joy to race on. Confession time, as a kid, I did not like Moonview Highway. Seeing it in the Wave 5 trailer was incredibly surprising, but deep down, if I could have picked the second Wii track for this wave, it would have been Toad's Factory. With all of that said, Moonview Highway has quickly become a favourite course of mine, especially on 200cc. It almost feels like racing a 2D Sonic game. It knows how to test your mechanical driving, but then rewards you by letting you race along at Mach 9. The randomised boost panels in the city are a super nice touch, and the OST is phenomenal. This is easily one of the best pieces of music in the entire game, and Jesus, have you heard the Mario Kart 8 soundtrack? They brought back my second favourite GameCube track. Please just give me DK Mountain, please. I will do anything. Daisy Cruiser deserves its status as an iconic Mario Kart track. Great theming, great layout, and some interesting alternate paths. The art direction this time around is also top notch. Everything is so wonderfully bright and colourful. I also love that the icon for the track looks like a bunch of Goombas are invading. Of course, my favourite Wii track is my favourite track this wave. Outside of Toad's Factory, all of my Wii dreams have come true. That is assuming that Rainbow Road is the last track of the DLC. The only bad thing that I can say about Cooper Cape is that the music is a bit naff, but there's so much variety in this one track that I'm excited to play it every time it comes up. Now the long wait for Wave 6 begins, but I am a happy man. I'm also deeply considering doing a full ranking of all 96 tracks once they're out. We have some ideas for extra channel content, and this feels like a bit of a no-brainer. One type of game I massively appreciate is the kind of game that you can consistently slot into your day for 15 to 20 minutes. Hell, this is the basis of the whole commitment scale we have. With that said, towards the end of July, I got back into Stardew Valley, and those of you that have played this game know that this is a slippery slope into staying up until 3 AM fishing. Thus, I set myself a fun criteria. For every real life day that elapses, I will play 1 day in Stardew Valley. This usually ends up being my wind down after work, and yes, I do have an unreasonable amount of self-control. Expect to see updates on this frequently, until I die in the game, and naturally die in real life. I done tricked you. I bet I had you with that whole bit at the start of the video. Imagine the silly look on your face right now. Actually, you don't have to imagine. Last time we left off with Modern Warfare 2, I was on the verge of taking a well-needed break, and I did. Surprise, surprise. I'm having a great time with the game again. I even bit the bullet and started playing DMZ with randoms, and it's fun. It's a bit chaotic, but we make do with what we've got. I'm back to having a blast with multiplayer, especially 10v10, and I'm excited for Season 5, which as of me writing the script is launching tomorrow.
Into the Gungeon.
Getting back into Stardew Valley had me browsing my other indie favourites, and what can I say? Enter the Gungeon is my favourite indie. Of course it would be my first stop. Sorry Hades. If you haven't played this, then you're simply missing out. Enter the Gungeon is tough as nails, but it manages to be a roguelike ultimately about skill over RNG. You absolutely can beat the game with just the starting pistol. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but it is possible. For me, the beauty of this game lies in the chaos. Runs start out pretty normal, but then end up like this, and I know what you're thinking. How can I even tell what's going on here? That's the neat part. I can't. All I know is that everything in the room is now dead, and that I win, at least until my Xbox explodes. We are winding down our playtime as Season 5 draws to a close, but this is still the game of choice for me and my friends. I've managed to make some decent progress with learning more heroes this month. I've gotten good with D.Va, had way too much fun playing Junker Queen, tried out Mei, Reaper, Bastion and Sojourn for DPS, with Sojourn becoming my favourite DPS alongside Ashe, although I'll admit, I do pull out a Panic Bastion from time to time. Even support got a bit of love with me learning Bridget and Kiriko. To top it all off, I even got my first support rank, Platinum 5, which annoyed one of my friends to no end. Mischief and Magic also ended up being a great mode. I really hope that this ends up coming back because it's great silly fun. That's it for July, and I know what you're thinking. Where is Zelda? Where is Dead Island 2? I'll admit, they have definitely fallen through the cracks, but I will be getting back to them, I promise. There's just a lot to juggle. I also had the profound realization that instead of front-loading the video with books, shows and movies, you know, the other stuff, I should tuck them in the back because most of you are here for the games, but someone out there is here for this stuff, right? Still, I managed to read plenty of books throughout the month. Life of Pi was excellent, but my favourite this month was Educated. As for movies and shows, we got into Friends whilst travelling and have vowed to watch the entire series. Movies-wise, we are fortunate enough to live near one of the UK's 70mm screens and got tickets for the big day. Oppenheimer in 70mm was an event, and if you can go see the film in 70mm, do not skip that chance. It was phenomenal. Pretty much every single screening is just completely sold out, and I'm really bummed that we can't go see it again. And with that, July is wrapped up. I really do need to try and squeeze in some time with Zelda in August. And I'd like to round out the video by thanking you all for 800 subscribers. It's honestly so nice to see that the channel does keep growing, and the handful of regulars in the comment sections. You're all great, and I hope you enjoy what we're cooking up for August.